And soon, very soon, he was going to learn just how badly he'd been played. Those photos went into what we called our evidence locker, the folder we'd eventually use to show Jake just how thoroughly he'd been played. When I got home Sunday night, Jake was already there telling me about all the huge fish he and his buddies caught. I nodded and asked questions, acting interested while secretly replaying the memory of soaking in a hot tub with a glass of expensive champagne he had paid for. The pattern continued for another month. One of my favorite scams was the birthday present scheme. Vicky mentioned her best friend's birthday was coming up, and she wanted to get her something special but was short on cash. Jake immediately offered to help. He ended up buying an expensive designer bag that Vicky had picked out, which she promptly gave to me for my birthday, which was actually the following week. I carried that bag everywhere, including on dates with Jake. He complimented it once, saying it looked expensive. I just smiled and said Teresa had gotten it for me. Technically not a lie. His savings account was dwindling, and he'd started complaining to me about unexpected expenses at work and how we might need to tighten our belts for a while. Meanwhile, things between Jake and Vicky were getting more serious from his perspective. He started talking about introducing her to his friends, maybe even his family. Vicky skillfully deflected, always keeping him at that perfect distance, close enough to keep spending money on her, but not so close that their relationship would move forward in any meaningful way. What Jake didn't know was that we were building up to something big. Vicky had started planting seeds about a luxury vacation she'd always dreamed of taking, some tropical resort with private bungalows over the water, places where rooms cost like $1,000 a night. Jake predictably took the bait, started looking at options, trying to figure out how to afford it. That's when we discovered he'd been moving money from our joint account into his private one to fund his double life, money that was supposed to be for our bills, our future. He'd been stealing from me to romance my cousin. Finding those transfers was like being punched in the stomach all over again, but it also made me more determined than ever to finish this. As the third month of our scheme came to a close, Jake was planning this extravagant vacation, draining his savings account for deposits and buying new luggage and ridiculous tropical outfits. But we weren't quite ready to spring the trap. Not yet. We had at least one more month of making him pay. The best part? He had no idea what was coming. He still thought I was completely oblivious, still cooking his meals and doing his laundry like the perfect girlfriend, still believed Vicky was falling for him as hard as he was falling for her, still believed he was the one in control of the situation. But the control was all ours. And soon, very soon, he was going to learn just how badly he'd been played.